Thank you for joining us here on the Neutral Zone. I am Phil Milani, joined as always by my esteemed colleague, my partner in crime. Really, the best way to describe this person is my everything. It's at Eric Dalala.
Phil, what's going on?
What's happening? How was your dark retreat?
It was nice. I don't know if you saw, there's actually a light switch in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But it's hard to find, right?
Yeah, well, you know, Deion Sanders, not hard to find.
Hard to find.
Light switch, hard to find.
Yeah, yeah.
So I did not turn it on.
What'd you learn while you were in there?
Oh, man, so much. I just, I could kind of see the waves from like the audio. It was like I was just seeing a podcast.
Really?
Most of the time you listen to a podcast, I was seeing the podcast. And I think I feel one with the Neutral Zone.
It was kind of like you were watching on YouTube. You watched the podcast.
No, I could see
podcast.
like the atoms and like the waves, the frequency.
Got it. It was kind of like an interstellar situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, got it. Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
So you feel rejuvenated? You're ready to?
Yeah, it was kind of scary. I don't really like the dark.
Yeah. Was anybody in there with you or no?
I invited Ben Swanson. He declined, so it was just me.
Got it. Okay. Well, we're happy you're back.
Thank you. Happy to be back.
Yeah. Also joining us here in the studio, once again, the one and only Ben Swanson.
Yeah, the crowd goes wild.
It might be hard to tell because his shirt blends in with the background, but it is, in fact...
it blends in?
It blends in on the camera, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a flannel.
It's a flannel.
That's my uniform. I have to wear it.
You probably would have been nice and cozy in like an underground sort of woodland area, with your flannel.
Sure. Yeah, you could have been there with Eric.
Yeah.
Why didn't you go with me?
Yeah, you would have been comfortable.
I don't know. I just didn't want to.
You didn't want to see
I spend enough time around Eric.
You prefer to just hear the podcast.
Yeah. You don't want to see it.
Yeah, you don't want to see
the original format, audio.
Well, we got a lot to talk about today.
Do we?
Yeah.
What happened?
Well,
something happened.
Reportedly. It seems like the Broncos might have a new defensive coordinator.
Ooh.
Yeah. The wait is over. The media has been just...
The wait was over after 2016, right?
Wade Phillips?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a new guy. The wait.
The wait. Sorry.
The wait is over.
So the wait was over.
No. The media, they've been like banging on the doors here.
Yeah.
They're like, what is going on?
They're like, they're just guessing how many coaches there are.
Of course, we're in the building. We had lunch with all the coaches.
We know things.
Yeah.
They can't tell you, but
what's
we know
going
things.
On? Yeah. You would never believe who's on this staff.
No. Oh, my gosh, it's wild. I do like that in general, though, Phil. If quote, I'm going to put this in quotes because I don't think the people that are doing this are ours like us.
Yeah.
If you're a, quote, reporter. And you, yeah, but if you are a quote reporter and you don't know, maybe find out instead of just guessing. That could be
That's true.
Like our friend Mike Kliss, good friend of the show.
Sometimes you need to know what you don't know.
Yeah, to then know what you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But like our friend Mike Kliss, he doesn't know something, he goes and finds something out.
Yeah, he's an R.
Yeah. Some of these quote reporters, they don't know something. They're like,
and then just blast.
Just make something up.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Of course, we're referring to Sean Payton. He hopped on the old Twitter machine.
Well, Sean Payton's not the quote reporter. He's no. He's the coach.
Well, but we're talking about something happened.
Yeah.
Something happened.
Yeah, something did happen.
On Wednesday night, Sean Payton
in the
logged
eve.
on.
It was the eve.
It was
Wednesday eve.
In the darkness.
The twilight.
Yeah. It was past twilight.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was dark.
Dusk?
Was there a full moon or no? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I don't know what the light situation was. Okay. But it was
darkness retreat.
It was, the night is darkest before the dawn.
That's true.
Yeah. This was much earlier.
Much earlier. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that dark.
It wasn't that dark. No. But he hopped on and he did a little blast.
That's right. There's a tweet out there.
We could just say it's from Eric Goodman.
Eric Goodman. What? He's on Mile High Sports Radio or something?
Is that what it is? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah. Said only 5 coaches have been hired.
No free pub on this podcast.
I think it's kind of like the opposite of pub, right?
We're blasting. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. He said
Here's one
they've
less
only
thing.
hired.
Here's one less thing you have to listen to. Swanson, why don't you read it?
Yeah.
Oh, you pulled that up?
Yeah, I got it.
Eric Goodman's lawyers, please
Accurate.
turn your attention to Ben Swanson.
The story broke about Sean Payton becoming the #Broncos head coach 24 days ago.
The hashtag.
What's this voice?
Yeah, this is my reading.
Oh, your reading voice. Got it. Not
Just-
an Eric Goodman
Well, it's
impression.
a radio.
Just hashtag Broncos or hashtag Broncos head coach?
Just #Broncos.
Okay.
This is not an Eric Goodman impression.
No.
Okay,
I just
this
feel
is
like-
just reading voice.
I just feel like with the radio market in this city, you have to have like a different voice.
Reading voice.
Sean Payton was hired 24 days ago.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay. Can you
Right.
do it like that?
Please
Can
do
you do
it
it like that?
Please do it like that.
Right now, he has 6 coaches on his staff, including himself, and has 12 more to fill, including everyone on defense. Please don't sell me a pile of garbage. He's taking his time. This is embarrassing.
Was it hashtag embarrassing or no?
No.
Oh, that could have been nice.
Oh, man. First of all, why would you buy a pile of garbage?
Don't sell me that.
Don't sell me a pile of
I know.
garbage.
Like, even if someone tries to sell
don't
you
want
that,
it.
why would you buy it?
I say no.
Like,
I
if
say no.
you got an empty coffee cup over here, if you're like,
want
Eric,
it?
you want this for $10, I'd just be like, no.
What about for free?
I could maybe be interested. But then you're not
could
selling it to me.
reuse it.
You're giving it to me.
That's true. That's true.
So, Swanson,
Then
No,
what
I mean,
happened?
yeah.
Then what happened?
trouble ensued for
Then
Eric Goodman.
Yeah.
Sean logged on.
Yeah.
It
At
was
Sean
dark.
Payton.
What
think-
time was it?
you think he
What
has-
time was it?
It was 9:01 p.m.
9:01. See?
Ooh.
Yeah.
You think he has two-factor?
Are you allowed to have two-factor anymore?
If you have a blue check, I think.
Oh.
If you're Twitter
he's
blue.
subscribed, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You have,
Subscribe.
yeah,
Does
you
Sean
have
Payton
to,
have Twitter blue?
maybe gold.
Legacy. It may
Legacy.
not be. It may or
Legacy.
may
That's what
not
I
be
am.
notable. I don't know.
Yeah, your legacy.
What are you? You're blue.
I'm.
You're gold.
You pay the $8. You pay the
I got
$8.
no, I didn't pay. What is the one where you don't pay?
Legacy.
Yeah, that's what I am. Is it good to be legacy?
I'm
I don't
legacy.
know.
I don't know. Eventually, it might go away. They say.
You're a legacy because your dad was on Twitter, right?
Exactly.
Should we continue?
Yeah, please.
All right. Yeah, he replied, 16 with 5 to go. We'll fill you in when we're ready.
Ooh.
We'll fill you in when we're ready.
Now,
Boom.
we should note that Sean Payton does like to get on Twitter and do some blasting.
Yeah.
He's very good. He's a good follow.
We, of course, Nikki Javala,
Our
good
friend.
friend of the
Good
show.
friend.
She's been on the receiving end of a Sean Payton blast before.
Yeah.
I believe she posted a photo of Eric Decker once.
You can remove the if.
That was
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah, she said, he said, this is false. And she said, if my source is wrong, I apologize. And he said, you can remove the if.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
pretty
All
good.
good.
That's
You can
another
remove
good
the F.
blast. I like this. I
Yeah.
like this, Eric. You know, there's no need to announce all these things at the moment. You know, people are starting to panic just because the combine's coming up. They're like, what's going on with the coaching staff? Like, I think the one thing about having a coach like Sean Payton here is like, you could just relax. Just have a little bit of confidence that like, look, this guy is in charge here. He knows what he's doing. You don't need to like always be so like holding his feet to the fire.
I mean,
You know
it's
what I
one
mean?
thing if like this was like a first-time head coach, but like
Yeah.
the guy is like one of the winningest coaches in the last couple of decades. Like he's earned some slack.
Yes. Now, I have a little pop quiz for you. Or did you have something to say?
I just have one more thing to say. I think it's good for fans, too, because I think there's too I think there's too much in this market of like nonsense of just things being presented as fact being spewed. And a lot of the times that's not corrected just because a lot of coaches aren't going to get into that. Sean Payton is going to call reporters on stuff. If you say something that's false,
yeah.
he's going to let them know.
He'll hold you to it.
And I think that's good for fans because then they get a more honest evaluation. Maybe these quote unquote reporters are less likely to put stuff out unless it's well sourced. And I think that ends up being good for the fan base.
Yeah. And just in general, it's like, just relax about it. Not everything is like the biggest deal in the world. And I think that sometimes in this market, things get blown out of proportion a lot of the time. It's like he's hiring his coaching staff. Just relax. Not everything is like, what's going on there? You know, like just, hey, it's okay. He's working on it. You know, and then, like I said, having a guy like Sean Payton, you know that he's going to get a good coaching staff in here. So just relax.
Definitely.
Now, my question for you is, of the 32 head coaches in the NFL, how many do you think have a verified Twitter account? Okay. Okay,
This
how many do you think?
is good podcast. I like
Yeah,
that.
how
Okay.
many do you think?
Can I try to go through it, or you want me
Well,
to just
I
guess
have
it?
the names out here, but first, just guess how many of the 32 do you think?
8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, that was good. Yeah, 8.
Okay.
Okay, so Sean Payton obviously is
Payton.
one.
I think Matt LaFleur has one.
Yep.
Does Sean McVay have one?
Sean McVay does not
Does
have
not.
one.
Okay.
You would think, though.
Yeah. Saleh? Robert Saleh?
Robert Saleh does not have one.
Oh, maybe one more strike, and then you just tell me because.
Yeah,
can't-
that's true. That
Can't
would be 2
guessing all
strikes.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else would have? Fool me
Who
once.
else would have a head? Who else would have a Twitter account?
Strike 1. Only twice, strike 3.
Does Mike McCarthy have one?
No.
Okay.
No, that was good.
You're missing it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mike McCarthy often gets confused for Mike McCartney, the son of
Right.
CU's
But I thought maybe
head
he
coach.
had one and was like, okay.
Okay, Swanson, you want to guess?
I
Guess
already
who?
saw. I
You
was
saw my
looking at your
list?
paper to fact check you.
You looked at my notes?
Yeah.
What? When?
Just a second ago, you were holding it
Oh,
open
and
to
you
me.
fact checked it.
Yeah.
You did it that fast?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Mike Tomlin has one.
Okay.
Mike Vrabel has one.
Oh, I should have known that one.
D'Amico Ryans. You got Matt LaFleur. Kevin O'Connell, Pete Carroll, and a riverboat Ron Rivera.
I should have.
Those are the 8.
Avatar.
The movie?
The Ron Rivera. He's got like the
Yeah, exactly.
got a
It's a
skull?
funny little
like a
I don't
hat.
know what
It's
it
got a
is.
skull with a little hat on it, or no?
His handle is Riverboat Ron.
It's his face.
Crazy avatar.
It's not a skull.
Apologies to Ron. Apologies to Ron.
It's like a skull. So yeah, those are the 8. But none of the other guys, I don't think they go on and blast. So
Not yet.
not yet.
I feel like Ron's blasted before.
Oh, maybe he's done a little
surprised
blasting.
me.
But the other cool thing is that it does seem like Sean Payton is running this account. Like
Yes,
this, he's
yes,
not
it does
like
seem like that.
It's not like he was like, "Hey, Swanson, blast him," and then
Right.
Swanson logged on and did it. You know, it seems genuine.
Well, he replied, I think, when he got hired to Emmanuel Sanders, and was like, "You remember this game?" And
Yeah, yeah,
you
exactly.
know, like, it's got to come from
Exactly.
someone. Of course, runs your Twitter account for you.
Yeah, I don't have time to do that.
No.
Yeah, my team does it. Yeah. Anyway,
What's your brand called?
the logo is crazy.
Are they allowed in the facility?
Yes. I got Who gets my lunch? Huh, Eric? Who do you think does that? You think I get my own lunch? Are you crazy? But of course, the wait is over. We can now say that the Broncos have their new defensive coordinator.
That's right.
That's what we're going to talk about on this show, Eric.
Vance Joseph.
He's back.
He's coming back to Denver.
He's back.
Is that Vance?
Yeah.
Nice.
You could do a one, right?
No, I could never do that good of a job.
No. I nail it pretty good.
Yeah.
After a lot of press conferences, I got it.
That's true. A lot of he presumably will only meet the media once a week,
Just the one time now. Yeah.
but
We used to talk to him like 5 times a week.
yes,
Now just once.
it's a change.
Yeah. But he's back. We'll talk about, okay, what does this mean for this Broncos defense? Why was he the right choice for this defense? And how do you think this is going to go over in the locker room, Eric? Because there's only 2 guys who remain from Vance Joseph's tenure.
2 men.
He's only been
remain.
gone for 4 years. 2 remain.
That's true.
Justin Simmons,
Yep.
Josie Jewell.
Jose Jewell,
Yep.
the outlaw,
The outlaw.
granola.
He survived. The outlaw survived.
Just on defense?
On the defensive side, yeah.
He's coaching.
That's what
He's coaching the
yeah.
defense, Swanson.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but like he'll still be around Garrett Bowles sometimes
Why?
because they work together now. They work in the same building.
When's the last time you were hanging out with somebody in partnership marketing in the Denver Broncos? When's the last time you just bumped shoulders with them?
Yeah, I mean it's happened.
It has happened.
We also don't
Fact
work
check
in the
true.
same building.
Perfect.
Fact check
They're
true.
in a
Perfect.
They're at the stadium. We're at the
Yeah.
practice facility. Different buildings.
That's a good point from Swanson.
I see people from like the coaching staff or the video department.
Yeah.
I see Phil sometimes.
When's the last time you chatted with someone from finance?
Finance.
Yeah, I talk with Mike.
Shout out, Mike.
Is it good? Yeah, shout out, Mike. What'd you talk about? Huh? 401k?
Where my money at? It's like, Mr. Swanson,
you seen the market yesterday?
your paycheck is too big.
Yeah.
You get it in.
There was a clerical error on my paycheck?
You get your paycheck entirely in Dogecoin.
Yeah.
No.
Crypto.
I never.
Swanson, big crypto guy.
Yeah, big crypto.
Never.
Fits the flannel, I think. So we'll talk about Vance Joseph coming on, and then
Brandon McManus was here.
That's true.
that's true. Kick it through the posts.
Pretty good.
So we'll talk about VJ coming
It's
back.
gonna be hard to not do that.
Yeah, I think.
I'm gonna have to stop. I apologize. I'll stop. And then that's pretty much what we'll talk about, I think.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So, Eric, this is an interactive show, so we want to hear from the people.
That's
What
right.
do they think about Vance Joseph coming back?
Yep.
How do they do that?
Man, Phil, a lot of ways. You could leave an email at neutralzoneshow@gmail.com. Leave a voicemail at 707-NEUTRAL. You could tweet at us directly on Twitter, at Eric Dalala with an A, at Phil Milani with a PH, 1 L in Phil.
1 L.
Non-traditional spellings.
Yeah.
Or Phil, you could go right on down. Maybe you pull out of your driveway, you take a left, you head on down to old YouTube Parkway.
What do you do there?
You
Pass
get
the
off of the,
subscribe.
Yep. Well, you don't want to go past subscribe. You might want to
stop
stop there.
Yeah.
You get back on the road. You take the exit to Broncos official YouTube page.
Then you subscribe.
Boom, Neutral Zone right there.
Yeah.
And leave a comment.
Yeah. Eric, it's interesting you talk about
Driving.
Because last week on the show, we were like, okay, you don't drive and watch on YouTube. But I was proven wrong. I was proven wrong. Dominic Cavazos. This comment is while driving.
Oh, God.
Thank you very much. Adam Kern says, Phil, if you have YouTube Premium, you can just listen on the go. Then you don't have to watch. But then,
You're not watching then.
yeah, I don't know why. That has 6 thumbs up.
Wow.
Yeah. Our friend Tom Agnetti said, they're so attractive, it's hard not to watch, though, which is very true.
Thanks, Tom.
A couple of haircuts this week.
That's right.
Ironically, we bumped into each other there.
That's right. We got our haircut at the exact same time.
ironic.
That was kind of crazy. Is that ironic?
I don't think so.
Coincidentally?
We sat facing each other.
Yeah, in silence.
I fact checked your, even just the defensive thing with Vance, and it's wrong. Deshaun Williams also here.
He's a free
Where's
agent.
Deshaun? Yeah, he's not even on this roster, Swanson. You don't even know.
You go to denverbroncos.com
He's actually
/team/roster.
You go to denverbroncos.com. Who does that?
Wow. It's the people that you think you can trust the most that hurt you the most.
Michael Peck says, hey, guys, much love to you guys.
Thanks, Michael.
I've been with you since you started, way back when you used to do shout-outs. Well, we still do the shout-outs.
Yeah.
You guys keep killing it. Thanks for your reporting. Couple of R's, thank you. Thad, been listening for a year now. Great show, guys. Did Ben have to restructure his contract to stay on?
No comment.
Yeah, we can't. We
Your
don't
team,
really.
Your team.
It's not
our
polite
team.
to get into that.
Yeah, that's pretty private stuff there. Nick Bennett. Hey, guys, enjoyed the show. Been listening at work. I'm curious for your opinion. Is there a difference interacting with a coach who has media experience? Does it make it easier or harder to interview them? Because we talked last week, maybe when Rex Ryan was up for the job. Oh, hey, Thursdays are going to be fun. Obviously, Sean Payton worked in the media. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that we should get more out of Sean Payton than you would out of a first-time head coach. I think there's 2 types of first-time head coaches in terms of media. One, they try so carefully to be secretive and not say anything that you don't get anything, and it's not helpful for us. I think Nathaniel Hackett maybe fell into that category. He was so careful not to say
anything
that
like
gave
injury?
away.
He's like, what injury? What are you talking about? Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're like, oh.
Or you can get in the other side where it's like a little rambly and you don't get like a good sound bite. We like a nice short sound bite.
That's true.
I think Sean Payton has the training where he's not going to give too much away, but he's going to give you just enough, and he's going to give you a nice soundbite. I think we saw that from the press conference. A lot of good little one-liners there. That's helpful for what we do. You learn something, tells you a story. That like when Vic Fangio was here, that would be my favorite answer that he would give when he'd be like, "Let me tell you about back in 1984."
And funny lines
is
and
good
stuff. Yeah.
And an occasional blast,
say,
and I think Sean Payton is willing to do a blast.
Yeah, you mean not just on Twitter?
No, real life blast.
Yeah. Is your water bottle okay?
Am I okay?
Yeah, I don't know. I would say having a guy who's worked in media is definitely better, just because they know what I'm looking for.
Yeah, what are you looking for?
I ask a question, they know what I'm looking for, boom, they deliver that.
And they say, "You like that, Phil?"
Yeah, and it's perfect. It's just a nice little, hey, just give it to me succinct, just well thought out, boom.
Yep, I agree.
And I like that.
Yep.
So I think that it is much better. Let's see. I had one other one I wanted to read, which means there's probably three more.
Exactly.
Nick Bennett. So I must have dreamed it, but I saw you guys recently posted like a 3-hour podcast. Needless to say, I was disappointed when I went to look for it and I couldn't find it. You guys rock.
People are dreaming of the neutral zone. That's amazing.
Yeah. That's good, right? We did do like almost a 2-hour episode a couple of weeks ago.
That's right.
That must have been
When the
what you were
schedule
thinking
comes
of.
out, boom.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Aaron Gonzalez, LMAO, you guys are hella funny. Ike, is that you? Ike? No, that's Aaron Gonzalez. Must be listening from Southern California. Patrick Cuffle. I guess I'm one of the best fans because I listen on YouTube and mostly when I drive. Crying emoji. Jesse Carfell.
Carfell, yeah, because his car fell.
Sorry, Caffarel.
Oh, got it.
Sometimes it's hard.
Maybe his car fell because he was watching while he was driving.
Currently listening on YouTube. Did quickly check Ben Swanson's beard.
For what?
Just to see, because we talk about the
lice?
beard a little bit too much.
You got lice, Swanson?
No.
You
Don't
trimmed that,
even start
You
rumors
trimmed that
like
thing
Not
up a
been
little bit.
trimmed.
You used some
Yeah.
nice beard butter.
You trim it for today?
Not for today, for the start of the week.
Oh.
You know,
My
I don't
week starts
think so.
Monday, not Thursday.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I trimmed it
It
at the
didn't
start
look-
of the week.
I don't know. Numwa says great vid, guys. And Jasmine, who is a frequent caller, a commenter. Can y'all go one podcast without the sarcasm and jokes?
No.
No, we can't.
Jasmine, you silly goose. You go to Silly Goose Academy? You graduate with honors, Jasmine?
Yeah, first in her class.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the comments. We appreciate those.
Thank you.
That was a good
A lot of comments.
Yeah, that was nice. So we appreciate that. Let's get into our first topic
And only topic.
and our most important topic.
That's right.
That is Vance Joseph returning. Spent 2 years here
The
as the
return.
head coach. Spent 4 years with the Arizona Cardinals leading their defense. Now he's back.
He's back, Phil.
And he's going to lead this Broncos defense for the 2023 season.
It's kind of interesting that this whole little roller coaster, this ride that's called life, Phil. We thought
Who would have thought?
We thought, maybe look at us.
Look at us. Not me.
We thought maybe former head coach Vic Fangio was going to come back and be the defensive coordinator, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, could somebody be the head coach and then come back as the defensive coordinator?" Nobody ever thought about old Vance Joseph.
You think the Vic was just a diversion, huh?
Oh yeah,
Get the people thinking that, and then really you do the Vance.
it's like a little pump fake.
Yeah,
Tend to go one way, boom, you go the other way.
could be
So
nice.
pump fake works. That's what the
Nice.
cats do.
Yeah. All right, John Fox was in the mix. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, what?
Just kidding.
Breaking news.
No, just kidding. You know, of course, when I'm on a podcast and I talk about something like that, I'm
not
that's
reporting it.
That's
Yeah.
not reporting.
Why would you think that me saying
not
something
reporting.
as
That
fact is
not
reporting it?
Yeah. No. But yeah, Vance is back.
Yeah.
You pumped up?
Yeah, well, I like Vance personally. As a guy, I think he inspires players. I got a new appreciation for Vance. Obviously, you see him around the building when he's a head coach here. He was in a tough spot, I think, in terms of the quarterback. Being a first-time head coach.
Quarterbacks.
I mean, if there's one S for every quarterback, we'd be
You'd be like a
like a
little
snake.
Yeah. A Slytherin. You little parcel tongue.
Yeah. You think it's called Slytherin
Quarterbacks.
because snakes be Slytherin?
Yeah. I do think so.
But I got a new appreciation for Vance watching Hard Knocks this year and just seeing the way that he relates to guys.
JJ Watt.
Hearing him talk to his staff, he had those morning walks into the facility. I'd recommend going back if people haven't watched. You got to get some good insight at Vance, his family life, what he took from this Broncos opportunity. He said he never, has no ill will, obviously, toward the Broncos, which is clear from the fact that he's back here. But it does seem like maybe he's progressed a little bit as a coach, just in terms of leading. That was obviously the big thing, right, when he got here, leader of men. And they did have some success in Arizona. Obviously, the numbers aren't going to jump out at you the same way that they would from like a Vic Fangio defense, but still had some success at times there in Arizona. I think 2 years with a top 13 scoring defense.
Top 13.
Well, the reason I say top 13 is that last year the Broncos, with this amazing defense that Ejiro Evero led, were 13th in scoring defense. So I think people out there think the Broncos were first or second in scoring defense. They finished 13th. Giving up 50 to the Rams doesn't help, but they finished 13th. Vance accomplished that twice while in Arizona. So between his leadership ability and the way he connects with players, I do think makes him a good candidate.
Yeah, I agree. Look, like when he was a head coach here, one of the things he struggled with was just being pulled in so many different directions. And he only had the 2 seasons here in Denver and then was let go. But I think that if Vance is able to just focus on one side of the ball, he's going to be in a much better situation to succeed. And I do think that he connects with his players. By all accounts, the players in the Broncos locker room enjoyed playing for him. It seemed like they played hard for him. I mean, I think about his second season, the Broncos under Case Keenum there. That was one of the better seasons in recent memory for this team where, they were heading into San Francisco and they were still in playoff contention there late in the season. So
yeah, I think Vance's final year, they were 6-6. They started 3-6.
Emmanuel got hurt, right?
They had big wins over the Chargers, the Steelers, went to Cincinnati and took care of business and were 6-6 and had a really favorable final schedule. And then you lose Chris Harris in that Cincinnati game. You lose Emmanuel in practice leading up to that San Francisco game. And it kind of went off the rails there. But the guys played hard for Vance. They fought for him. I think you're right that maybe being able to focus just on one area will be good.
Yeah, because I think that what happens sometimes to these first-time head coaches, they're so used to being in the meeting rooms, actually coaching football and like connecting with the guys. And then once they step into that head coaching role, there's just so much on their plate. What's the schedule look like? How do they want to handle this? How do they want to handle that? Everything just like comes to your door. And so you don't get to end up being a hands-on coach the way that you were as a coordinator. And sometimes you struggle like that. And I think Vance had only done the 1 year in Miami, right, as a DC. So it's not like he had been a long-time coordinator who was like then stepping up to the head coaching spot. I mean, he was rapidly ascending here. So
yeah, I mean, the Broncos, if you remember, tried to interview him for defensive coordinator, right, back when he was with the Bengals.
Yep. Blocked him. Did not have that,
did not have the ability to bring him in the way they wanted to, end up getting him as head coach. He did not, for people who forget, he did not call the plays here in Denver. So if you're looking at, how did the Denver defense perform, it's not quite a reflection of him. Obviously, he had a big hand in it as the head coach, but Joe Woods called the plays those 2 years in Denver. So really, I kind of look at the last 4 seasons in Arizona. He was on the sideline, which is interesting. I think people, at least I kind of like the idea of
the defensive guy up there.
The defensive guy being up in the box, but he was on the sideline this past year at least. We'll have to see, is that something he plans to continue? Does he like being down there with the guys? But listen, this team has talent. He knows how to use Justin Simmons, obviously, because he's worked with Justin Simmons. He's going to find a way to get Pat Surtain involved. You're going to have to, get some sort of rush, which is difficult, and personnel decisions are going to play a factor here. But I think I like the way that Vance compliments Sean Payton, and that I think, Sean kind of has this reputation as, disciplinarian, like he's going to hold you accountable. He's going to be tough. He's talked about, this transition might not be easy. You're either going to play this way or you might not be here. And I view Vance as kind of a good complement to that in terms of, hey, he's going to be there for the guys, be a shoulder for his defensive players to lean on. And really, we've heard him described as a players type coach. So I like the
good cop, bad cops kind of situation.
I don't know if I would go that far, but I just think that you set the tone at the top level with Sean Payton, and then I like having a guy, because we've heard that Sean Payton's is almost going to treat this like a head coach of the defense, and so having someone with head coaching experience that can connect to the players and kind of deliver. Hey, did somebody get chewed out by Sean? And you got to help them figure out how do you move forward from this. Vance has those, I think, interpersonal skills that will be helpful, in my opinion.
Because you do want to be on the same page as your coach. It's not like you want to be like, No, I
don't. But I think there's a way to deliver a top level message that I think Sean Payton will be really good at. But then as a defensive coordinator, I think you've got to have more one-on-one conversations. You've got to have, your as a play caller, you're installing things.
Yeah.
You're deciding to some degree, who plays in what package. Hey, if this isn't working well, if this guy isn't getting production, he's probably having more one-on-one conversations with Pat Surtain than Sean Payton is. And so to have somebody with head coaching experience that can translate that message and you're right, be a continuation of Sean Payton is good.
Yeah. Now, you look at his tenure in Arizona. I mean, last year, certainly, things did not go well for that Cardinals team. What do you say to the fans who are a little bit concerned about that? I believe that Arizona was the 31st ranked scoring defense last year. Seemed like more of an overall team issue down there maybe last year, huh?
Yeah, a team issue. I think you saw the problems offensively. If you're not able to score, it's hard for any defense to consistently play well. The Broncos are going to need more out of their offense. That's going to help set their defense up to maybe create more turnovers, to be able to get more stops. And Phil, I think I said this last week. I do also think, you want to look at scoring defense, but I know you like yards per game.
I like the yardage one.
And I also think that you've got to take into account, how does kind of the tone of a season. The Broncos a couple years ago under Vic didn't give up a lot of points, but there were times when the opposing offense just kind of shut it down and said, this offense can't score more than 17 points. So once we get to 17, we don't need to throw it around and give them a chance to get interceptions or
I think
turn
that
the ball over.
happened for Avero's defenses last year too.
Yeah, I think at times. And so, you can have a talented defense that can give up 24, 28 points a game, because if the Broncos are scoring, other teams are going to have to push it. They're going to have to try to keep up. You might get into some of these high-scoring contests. Listen, points per game and yards per game are an easy one to look at and say, this is how teams are doing. But I look at more, can you come up with big plays in big moments? And so for me, that'll be more what I'm looking for from Vance Joseph's unit, is not, can you hold a team to 15 points a game? I think that's unrealistic just based on the teams or the way that I would expect the Broncos to play football this year. But, hey, if you need a stop against Patrick Mahomes and you got a 3-point lead or you got a 4-point lead, can you get a stop? That's how I'm going to measure this thing.
Yeah, because we talked about this, I think it was last week, talking about the defensive coordinator spot and being like, okay, we need a defense that complements the offense. And so if you're assuming the offense is scoring a lot of points, how do you view how this defense will play? Because, like, say, for example, like a guy like Pat Surtain, as great as he was last year, you look at like, okay, did he make some plays, though, that really changed the outcome of games? Because he was just too busy locking down guys. He didn't necessarily get those game-altering plays. Do you sort of view this defense as like, okay, you need to like be a little spicier? Like, you think that they're going to like maybe take some risks here and there? Do you think they're going to mix it up a little bit versus the defense we've seen the last several years around here that was like, we're going to be scoring 14 points. We're going to try and win games 14-10. You got to play defense a little bit differently. Maybe if this team's scoring more, you expect this defense to just play a little bit different style.
Yeah, you got to attack when you have opportunities. If you're up and a team's going after you, maybe you blitz a little bit more, maybe you bring pressure. I would say with Pat, it didn't always translate to wins, but like Pat Surtain breaking up a pass in the end zone against Devontae Adams in Las Vegas, that's a a game-changing play that doesn't, that keeps 7 points off the board. So I think there's ways that you can get Pat involved, whether it's more zone coverage. We've heard of him talk about that in terms of having chances to get interceptions. You do want to put those guys in position to make plays, but, I do just, you're going to have to be a little bit attacking at times.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But
I'm thinking they got to be a little spicier.
Like people, I guess in general, it's more a big picture thought. I don't agree that like Pat Surtain didn't have game-changing plays, because when you take away a top guy for a whole game, that changes the entire plan of attack for another team. But that's a different.
It changes the scheme a little bit. But like
if a team doesn't think that they can go to DK Metcalf and they got to go somewhere else, then that changes
it. Yeah,
you might not see an interception from Pat Surtain, but they might score 10 more points if they're able to feature their best player. So
yeah,
you got to keep Surtain, I think, still locked on guys, but maybe you just do it a little bit differently to give him chances to get more takeaways.
Now, Vance, obviously, his background is in the secondary, so I'm sure that he'll be working closely with those guys and trying to get the most out of them this upcoming season. The one thing I'm curious about here, Eric, is that with a guy like Sean Payton, he's been in the league a long time, has a lot of connections all across the league. I'm interested to see how these two got connected here, because trying to think about their past, I don't really see the overlap here, right?
Yeah, I mean, not off the top of my head. But again, Sean's a guy that knows a lot of different people throughout the league, so quite possible someone said, "Hey, take a look at Vance Joseph," or he being in the NFC previously, competing against the Cardinals, just being aware of what's going on, knowing former head coaches. I mean, there's a number of ways. You're right. It'll be interesting to see what was that exact link, but from what we've seen, the coaching staff has kind of been assembled from all over the place. So it's a mix of.
There's some old New Orleans guys,
and some new guys
that we've heard. So, it is interesting. I mean, I know at the beginning of the show we talked about Eric Goodman's tweet and then Sean Payton blasting him there.
Yeah.
We talked about that, right?
We did.
Now, while that tweet was ridiculous, the truth is that it did take a little bit of time here for Sean to make a decision about a defensive coordinator. He took his time with it. He interviewed several guys reportedly, and he chose Vance. So, there must have been something that, in the interview process, getting to know Vance a little bit, just because there hasn't been that prior overlap. It seemed like he went through this process genuinely, trying to find the best guy, and walked away after interviewing a few guys saying, "Look, this is Vance Joseph. This is the guy I want."
Yeah, and I mean, again, until Vance speaks or we hear from Vance, we don't know exactly what the process was like. It's possible, we saw reports that Vance interviewed with Philly. It's possible Vance wanted to just say, "Hey, let me hear from both places and let me decide what's the best opportunity for me." And so we don't know if it was which side kind of took a little bit more time. Maybe it was, "Hey, let's both take our time here and make sure that this is the perfect."
Well, Sean said, "Hey, just be slow to hire." That was part of his.
Yeah.
I mean, he did this on purpose.
Yes,
he took his time with it.
Right.
I mean, I think that was what he wanted to do, and just go through the process.
And it's still February.
Yes. No, I'm not being critical here. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. A lot of times, these new head coaches, they come in and they're like, "This is who I want," and then it's it's already done. But that's not the approach that Sean has took with this.
Well, and my understanding, Phil, is that I don't know how much people have mentioned this. My understanding is there's new rules, and I can't remember if it's this year or last year that this started, but you have to interview a number of candidates for offensive coordinator, for defensive coordinator. I believe even for quarterbacks coach, there's a requirement under the Rooney Rule now, and so you can't just pick a candidate and say this is my guy. You have to go through an interview process, and so it makes sense that it would take a little bit more time as opposed to just saying this is my best friend to do it. The best friend did pretty well, right?
You just got done blasting him.
I didn't blast him.
Yeah, you said a lot of people think this was a good defense, but they actually sucked. I think that was your general point.
I don't think that was my general point.
Oh, got it. Sorry, I just overgeneralized.
Maybe, You know how people play the game of telephone, and by the time it gets from like the first person to the 10th person, it's like completely different.
I did the one.
I tell
one
you,
person.
and then you tell Swanson. It's already completely different. He only has to go through one person.
I don't even have to tell Swanson. I'll tell everybody listening. And just say, okay, I heard what you said, and now I'm going to sum
one
that
person.
up.
It is
I'm
just
gonna sum it
completely
up.
different.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
here's what I think
that's
you
interesting.
said.
I wonder why you said that. Explain yourself. You're like, I didn't
Exactly.
say that.
So in terms of the timing, that could be an explanation. Again, good to take your time. You're not winning games in February.
That's true.
You know, unless you're the Chiefs. They won a game in February.
They did win a game.
But you're not winning a game the last week of February.
The Eagles did not win a game in February.
No. Unfortunate for really everybody.
They didn't. Yeah, pretty much everybody.
And so I have no problem with the fact that it took a little bit of time.
No.
And
I just want to know what happened in that interview.
yeah, I'm sure they'll tell you.
I want to know.
I'm sure they'll tell
I
you.
need to know. Really, I need to know.
Well, and if you don't know, you can be like everybody else and just kind of make something up.
Exactly.
So that would be good.
I'll just be like, I heard this happen in the interview.
Yeah.
It's almost the same. But it will be nice to see Vance walk in the hallway,
course.
reconnect with him a little bit. We've had a chance to catch up with him casually, bumping into him at different events and stuff like that. And
Yep.
seemed like he enjoyed his time in Arizona. But, what was it Dion said as if you're in coaching, you're either moving up or you're getting fired.
That's right.
And so Vance
Which
is
one?
back here now.
Which one
So
did
now
he do?
And now Vance is back here.
Yep. That's right.
The coaching business is hard.
It is.
It is hard.
It's a
You
lot like the
bounce around.
podcasting business.
It's a lot like the podcasting business. You're just bouncing
You're
around.
either supervising or you're not.
Yeah, exactly. Or you're trying out for
Or you're
it.
trying out.
Yeah. Permanent tryout.
I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah. It'll be just nice to have him back in the building and a chance to reconnect with him a little bit here. And then hopefully the defense has continued success. But we've talked about it before. This defense is going to look a lot different than it. It was always going to look a lot different. So
That's right.
and now Vance,
Changes are coming.
yeah, and now we know who's going to be leading that unit. So, anything else you'd like to say about it?
No, I don't think so.
I think
That
we covered it
nice.
pretty nicely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really our only topic here on this episode. Nice and tight.
Yep. That's how we like it.
Any shout outs to get to, Eric?
Ooh. Well, we just spent a long time on Vance, but just, am happy for him and his family.
So
Obviously,
now you're going to shout out Vance.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
is that okay?
Sure.
Do whatever I want, really.
Really?
Yeah. I'd like to shout out Coach Payton's Twitter account.
Yeah.
Run by
That was
him.
nice. That was nice.
Yeah.
How do you think that goes? He's just like, I'm going to log on here. And
I wonder how many do you think he
who
sees
do I
that he
wanna
doesn't
blast?
reply to?
Yeah.
It's worth.
What about the Broncos podcast network? Do you think he's going to blast that?
Yeah, I think
It would help the followers.
that's a good thing to think before you tweet something. Is this going to get me blasted by the head coach?
Do you want to be
Publicly?
blasted by the head coach?
I think certain people.
be nice.
Certain people do.
It could be nice.
Certain people are like, "What is the dumbest thing I could tweet that would potentially get me attention from Sean Payton?"
Yeah. There's what I'm wondering though is there's a lot of dumb tweets.
Yeah.
So I wonder how he picked that one.
I don't know. It was pretty dumb.
Yeah, but it brought Eric Goodman some attention.
That's right.
Maybe the podcast network
All
needs
attention.
to do.
All attention is good attention.
Yeah. I don't think that all pub is good pub. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that what the saying is? Of course, shout out to Nikola Jokic.
Why?
Coming off of a nice All-Star weekend. Had his birthday.
The guy who was going to be drafted last before he decided he wasn't going to be drafted
No,
last.
that's not what happened, Eric. He
I saw
thought
that
that he was the only one up there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just didn't see this guy sitting next to me.
And he also, okay, first of all, Laurie Markkinen was all the way in the corner there.
That's like-
and it was dark.
That's like
so
us being like,
it's understandable.
We thought we were the only ones in the podcast studio. We didn't even see Swanson.
Yeah, his shirt blends in with the dark
Okay,
background.
whatever you got to tell yourself.
That is what happened. And then it was Jokic's birthday too. I will say, just to be fair here in this situation, the way the NBA did that draft thing was stupid this year. They shouldn't
I
do
agree
that.
with
Just to
that.
be fair.
That is
They should
silly.
not do that.
It's
You
silly.
shouldn't be like, hey, congratulations, you're one of the best players in the NBA. You've been voted a starter. Let's put you up on a stage and then go through this ridiculous process right here before the game. They should not do that. Now,
You're
on
just
the flip
grumpy
side of
that,
that,
you're just grumpy that this guy that's considered the MVP favorite is considered
For-
by his peers to be bad at basketball.
No. For the game of the All, he admitted himself afterward. He said, "I wouldn't even draft myself in this."
What is he supposed to say?
He said he's not
What
meant
is he
for this
supposed to say?
game. He could blast LeBron and be like, "You need to pick me."
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's what he could have said.
Okay.
But I agree with him too. He's not really.
Shout out to the
He's not
second
like
worst All-Star.
He's not like
that what you're
shooting.
doing?
He's not shooting it from like center court.
So
half
you're
court.
shouting out the second worst. Who is the third worst All-Star? Can I shout
I
that
don't know
out?
who was thinking. I don't know. Yeah, but he's an MVP candidate. He's the leading MVP candidate. His team is number 1 in the West. I don't know if you knew that, Eric.
Leaking.
The number 1 seed.
Are they the
in
one with the
West.
leaking practice facility?
Swanson.
Just kidding.
I can't handle
This
it.
is a tough balance
This
for
is
me
how
because
I feel the whole podcast.
I actually I don't want to like be offensive to real Nuggets fans, but I like hurting your feelings about this.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's
you
kinda
like
tough.
that. Yeah, but really, you like Nikolai.
He's a
You're
nice,
Nikola
he's a
fan.
nice guy.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, he's a lovable guy. So we shout him out. Obviously, shout out Liz Gerald.
Of course.
Community doing some nice work this week.
Really good.
Yeah, what are some of the things?
Well, Rack Week wrapped up last week, so just kind of basking
What week is
basking
this?
in the Rack week.
Okay. Any Rams fans we want to shout out or anything
I don't
like
think
that?
so. Why would we do that?
Ramon?
Oh, Ramon. Is he a Rams fan?
No. Sorry.
Oh, it just reminded
Just
you.
comma. Next, moving on. Ramon Saison.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
This has been a brutal shout out section.
This has been brutal. Next week, you're going to be at the Combine, Eric.
I will be.
You're going to find some nice players for the Broncos, or what are you going to
I
do?
hope so.
Please don't forget your stopwatch.
Instead of asking, have you talked to the Broncos? I'm going to say, do you think you'll still be there at 67?
Yeah. What about 68?
Well, if they're there at 67, they'll be there at 68.
Yeah. How do you think they choose?
Except for one guy.
Yeah, that didn't
Yeah.
make a lot of sense.
How do you think they choose?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, they're like, we're going to.
Oh, maybe you
Which
trade
one?
one of them.
Oh, but what if they use both of them?
Then
How do you choose?
I would choose the quarterback before the guard.
That's what I would do, too. A nice idea. Helps make things a little bit easier on the back end.
That's right.
That's what I would say. All right. Well, I hope you guys have a nice time there in Indy,
Thank you, Phil. We'll
in the
miss you.
convention center.
It's just a
Under
dark.
the blue lights of the convention center. Cold. Dark.
Doesn't even sound really sound all that nice.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh well,
But you'll be finding the players.
that's right.
Hang time, like punting hang time, you'll be there.
That'll be
for that.
critical.
Yep. What else are you? 3-cone drill,
Yep.
high jump. Will you be doing
Naturally,
that?
I think so.
Are you doing the high jump too? Or
I will.
like judging the high jump.
No, I'm gonna
Oh, you're going to
participate.
do the high jump.
Yeah.
Okay. I know Swanson's doing the bench press.
6.5 vertical inches. I think is the
6.5.
yeah.
If you meet that threshold, you can play in the NFL.
I can continue to podcast.
You can podcast. All right. Well, we'll figure out some way to do the podcast next week.
We'll figure it out. We always
We'll
do.
be here.
We
We'll
always
be
do.
here, and that's it.
It's just how it
That's
goes.
what's going to happen. So, until then, for Ben Swanson and Eric Dalal, I'm Phil Milani. You've been listening to
The Neutral Zone.